Summer in Arles 1888, and a cold northerly wind forces Dutch artist Vincent van Gogh to pack up his easel and paint inside for a week. In less than 7 days, he would change the course of art history. In a letter to his brother Theo, he wrote excitedly, "I am hard at it, painting with the enthusiasm of a Marseillais eating bouillabaisse, which won't surprise you when you know that what I am at is the painting of some sunflowers. I am working at it every morning from sunrise on, for the flowers fade so quickly." The 4 sunflower paintings he would create in those few days would become perhaps the most heralded series of paintings in art history. But at the time, Van Gogh was inspired by a more intimate notion, decorating the studio for the imminent arrival of his friend, Paul Gauguin. In his letter, he continued, "In the hope of living in a studio of our own with Gauguin, I'd like to do a decoration for the studio. Nothing but large sunflowers." After some initial hesitation, Gauguin arrived at the Yellow House on October 23, 1888, and for a brief period of time, the two friends worked side by side to great effect. But 2 months later, disturbed by his increasingly erratic behavior, Gauguin informed Van Gogh that he was leaving. After spending the night in a hotel, Gauguin returned to the Yellow House in the morning to find it surrounded by police and onlookers. Inside, covered in blood and missing part of his ear, was Van Gogh. Van Gogh would survive, and Gauguin would depart, and although the two artists would correspond by letter, they would never see each other again. 3 Sunflowers was painted first in the series, and was coincidentally the first painting sold after Van Gogh's death in 1890. It is often referred to as the unknown sunflowers, as it has passed quietly from one private collector to the next, and has very rarely been seen publicly. It was acquired in 1891 by Parisian art critic Octave Mirbeau, who purchased it along with Van Gogh's irises for £24. The painting would then be purchased by couturier Jacques Doucet, who had earlier auctioned his entire collection of classical art to focus on collecting modern works, eventually amassing a collection that would define the direction of art for decades to come. It is also during this time that the painting would make its final public appearance, a 1-month Van Gogh exhibition at the Cleveland Museum of Art in 1948. In 1970, Doucet sold the painting to Greek shipping magnate George Imberikos for £600,000. In 1996, the painting was set to be reunited with irises at the Getty Museum in Los Angeles. But the deal fell through, and the painting was sold to a private buyer who has kept it hidden from view until today.